Here is Maria Bartiromo interviewing Eric Trump. This is
the brain trust.
Yeah, and really, she drew the short straw, apparently.
Although Eric's been showing his loyalty to Daddy, he was in the courtroom and was reportedly held his father's hand after solemnly, quickly, because it's not gay at all. After the convictions came down, 34 counts, and Don was not there. So Eric, he gets to go on TV and audition for Daddy's favorite little boy here.
You get to go on Bartiromo if she has not thrown herself out of a window. So sad about my conviction.
Yeah.
They want prosperity. They want somebody who will actually be a cheerleader.
Everybody wants to know what this verdict means for the presidential election. You know that. That's all anyone's talking about at this point. Will President Trump be able to run and win? Will he be able to do the things that he was planning on doing for the campaign to actually be victorious in November? What are the restrictions they're putting on, and what is your answer to that?
Well, Maria, as I walked out of that courthouse that day, I said May 30th, 2024 might be the day that won it for Donald Trump. I'm telling you, I've never seen this country more upset about what's happening. And, it's a law of unintended consequences. The Democrats always dig so deep that they end up finding themselves. They think that their little trickery will be overlooked, that they're smarter than everybody else. America's looking through this nonsense, and I think the harder they hit him, the more they do this, the more money he's going to raise, the more independence he's going to get. As I mentioned, the swing of independent voters after this conviction has been unbelievable because no one believes it. And, they're literally feeding him, certain segments of the population that he might not have had in 2016 and 2020. Because for the first time, they realize that the system's coming down, that he's the victim. He's the victim that oftentimes some of their communities were. And,
my God.
And you see them swing. You look at the African-American vote, right? That's swinging over to Donald Trump in spades. Look at the Hispanic vote over the last couple of years. Look at the youth vote right now, Maria. We've never had more youth support out there. And people know exactly what's going on, and they want a strong country again.
Okay. Let's just start with the absolute, no. Rancid racism associated with the idea that Donald Trump gets convicted.
Criminal
Obviously, black people are going to be like, hey, wait a second, this guy's one of us.
And Hispanic people.
And Hispanic people.
And young people who, Eric kind of threw in there, I think, because he realized perhaps I went down and said my inner thoughts in a way I maybe shouldn't have expressed them. I don't know.
Morning Consult poll, 54% of registered voters strongly or somewhat approve of the guilty verdict, compared to 34% strongly or somewhat disapprove. 49% of independents and 15% of Republicans said Trump should end his campaign because of the conviction. The polls found the race effectively tied. Now, let me say this. Prior to his conviction, the number of independents and the number of Republicans who would have said that Trump should end his campaign because of the conviction would have been 0%. Because he wouldn't have been convicted. Now, half of independents and 15% of Republicans say that he should end his campaign. 68% of registered voters say the punishment should be a fine. I do think that if Donald Trump was to be sent to jail for this, that there might be some sympathy for him. Donald Trump is not going to jail for this.
For this.
He's not. I would be shocked, and I think people would be shocked. And I think the judge even said during the course of the trial, when they were trying to argue that he should not be tried, when they were trying to get some type of summary dismissal or something to that effect, the judge basically laughed, he's not going to jail for this.
Yeah. I should just, the lineage of this take, it goes back earlier in the month, in May, to Stephen A. Smith, ESPN sort of commentator, also personal friend of Mark Levin. He said on Hannity, black folks find him relatable because what he is going through is similar to what black Americans have gone through. When you see the law being exercised against them, it is something that black folks throughout this nation can relate to. And Stephen A. Smith later had to apologize and he said, as a lot of folks in black America seem pretty pissed at me right now. For that, I sincerely apologize that they misconstrued what they thought thought he was saying.
What did he explain? What he thought he was saying?
He said, "Look, I don't. What did he say? It is." Yeah, no, he didn't really. I don't think clarify to at least my satisfaction.
Certainly not. He's also Stephen A. also making some headlines today for his WNBA coverage, but that's a bit of an aside. I think,
he's an attention seeker, maybe.
Yeah, Trump has said something similar before. Like I am color me a little bit skeptical that the country's more outraged about this unanimous jury conviction of Donald Trump, who now everybody kind of understands is a crook, more than anything that they've ever seen that's going to catapult Donald Trump to the White House. The act has worn thin. The act of like everyone's out to get me has worn thin. They're worried about suburban moms. What suburban mom is going to like be actually like, yeah, when they're coming out for Donald Trump with this, they're coming after me too.
Because I might falsify business records because of an affair with us.
I was on the fence about going to the polls today, but because of what I saw Eric say on Maria Bartiromo, I'm going to the polls.
Meanwhile, the Democrats never miss an opportunity to attempt to give away any type of political advantage they may have in a situation. They are advising all of their, their talking heads and their surrogates and to downplay it. I mean, it's just absurd. It is just absurd.
Because they want to look above politics.
They want to look above
while doing politics.
They're saying that this is politically motivated, so don't go out there and actually use it. I mean, here's the problem with that. If you look at the polls at this point, for Donald Trump to win, he needs to bring out voters that did not vote in 2016, or really actually in terms of, I think the data shows, did not vote in 2018, did not vote in 2020, did not vote in 2022. Those are the voters that Donald Trump is doing the best with in these registered voter polls. The ones that he's doing the worst with are the people who voted in 2018, 2020, and 2022. And then he does a little bit better if they've only voted in 2 elections, and then they does a little bit better if he'd only voted in the one of the past 3 elections. So that means that the people who in these polls are saying that they're going to vote for Donald Trump are low propensity voters, definitely, by definition. And they're probably people who don't pay much attention to politics. The only way they're going to hear about Donald Trump as a convicted felon, because the media is already like now talking about Hunter Biden, and they're all going to go past, and is if the Democrats force the news media to cover them calling him a convicted felon.
So why are they talking about Hunter Biden?
Because
the Republicans made a non-issue into an issue, and this is an actually massive issue.
I mean, like, think of like how much mileage they got off of Hunter Biden's laptop, which still unclear what the deal is with that whole thing, based upon Twitter not wanting to link to unverified stories about it that show Hunter Biden's dick pics. I mean, it was an entire, like, there is an entire movement, like a billionaire bought Twitter because of this.
Yeah, it's still like a shibboleth.
And there's a difference in quality there too, where you have to also trust that the Republicans are frickin' insane, and that if you're going to make a case, it's going to be easier to sell it to the American public just because of the nature of the facts. I would hope.
I don't think even the natures of the facts make a difference.
Yeah.
I mean, all that needs to get out to people is convicted felon.
They should be pointing his finger and.
But that is the facts.
That is the facts, but that's it. You don't need to describe anything else. Convicted felon.
I agree.
Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.